The following podcast is a presentation of Project Entertainment Network.
Hey guys, this is another one of our pre-lockdown episodes, though you can hear from what we're going to talk about in this interview that we sort of knew what was coming our way. This was a more innocent time, a time when the only people we were aware of who had coronavirus were Tom Hanks and Idris Elba, and that times have definitely changed now. So, yeah. And what's funny is this was recorded on March 17th of 2020. So not all that long ago, but things have been progressing pretty fast. We're going to be interviewing Travis Rhett Wilson, who is an important person for the show because he's actually the first guest that we had on the U Mind. You'll hear a couple clips that I'll insert here, but he was the voice of Dr. Dmitry Kosoratov.
You see, this is where things get interesting. The research was inspired by visitations to the defunct royal family by trans-dimensional beings.
And he was also the voice of Harry Denizen, who is a Bigfoot expert that we had on the show.
As sexually profound as the species is, there's no real way to validate paternity, but I'm quite certain I fathered my share of their young.
Those were some scripted episodes, and they were a lot of fun, so go ahead and check them out. Dr. Dmitry Kosoratov will be returning for the new season of Creeping Wave. He's one of our baddies, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Travis does, he does the voice of the Monster Boys on Creeping Wave, which is Boris Karloff, Peter Lorre, and Vincent Price.
Buzzkill.
Oh, the last person I want to ever see again.
What are you doing here, Nap? And what's going on with your hair?
And a number of other voices that we sort of bring him in for.
So the Japanese could maintain fishing rights in that area surrounding that bogus country, you moron.
Okay, so it was really interesting to hear from him. He's an actor, and of course a lot of the venues for actors have been shut down because of the outbreak. So we're just hearing what's going on in his life and how he's keeping himself sane. And we want you guys to listen in because everybody's experience during this time, this unprecedented time, is really important. And we just want to document what people are doing. Okay, so hope you enjoy. Bye.
Don't be scared now, but it looks like you just wandered straight into U-Mind country. That's U-Mind, short for unaffiliated mind games, and you ain't never gonna be the same again. Brace yourself. It's time for a red-hot truth injection. Oh yeah! That's right, bitch. We're rounding up the sheeple and shaking them awake. U-Mind, too damn bad. We're gonna set fire to the wool over your eyes. Feel the burn, baby. Hot damn. We're toppling the lies of the lamestream media, one by one. Woo-wee! Watch them bad boys fall. Hey, Universe A, this is Universe B calling, and we're gonna tear you a new one. You mind?
So, hey everybody, I am here with Travis Rhett Wilson, a local actor, and you have heard him before on the U Mind and Creeping Wave. He provides voices on there. You provide a lot of voices on there.
Oh,
actually.
thank you.
Yeah. He's a very talented actor, very talented impressionist. And unfortunately, the coronavirus has had an impact on you as a performer. So...
It's had an impact on everyone.
Yeah. So
I mean, look at us. You know, we're pretty much shut in now. It's become very scorched earth for us.
Right. Yeah.
And here's what I'm worried about. Okay, and this is just, and then I'll let you go ahead and answer or ask your own questions.
Yeah,
but I did have this revelation that I would like to share with people, and it came to me this afternoon. We are in the greatest age of entertainment ever right now. We are in the midst of the greatest age of all forms of entertainment, visual arts, anything, social media, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And the things we see in film and on television and on computer screens are just stunning. So I think maybe that has a lot to do with why so many people are panicking, because they grew up watching some of the most realistic depictions of doomsday and apocalyptic just disaster ever captured on screen. And so, I mean, I would hope there was going to come a time when people are going to start coming to their senses and realizing that they're not in a world of fiction. This isn't what's going to destroy us. I don't think this is what's going to destroy us.
No. Well, unless it's the social aspect, that the people having weird overreactions and hoarding stuff, and of course, when you hoard, you pretty much insist upon people are going to like break in and get the supplies because you're keeping them all to yourself, and so that's going to create panic and disruption and things like that. So, yeah, hopefully.
Well, Twilight. I've been having Twilight Zone metaphors pop up in my head this entire week. All these Twilight Zone parallels are popping into my head now.
Yeah. Would you? I mean, the one that comes to mind for me is the like, I finally have time to read, and that kind of guy.
That's one.
Yeah.
That was one of the first.
Yeah.
That's one.
Mm-hmm.
The next one that's coming to me is The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
Oh yeah.
There's the one that I don't recall the title of. There's the one where a guy builds a bomb shelter in his basement.
Mm-hmm.
This town thinks the missiles are coming. And they're not missiles. They turn out to be rockets or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so they want to break into this guy's bomb shelter because he only has enough oxygen for himself and his wife or whatever. I don't remember all of it.
Right.
But I'm having that thought go through my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking of Walking Dead, obviously The Stand.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking of that now.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
That's what's been going in my head. A lot of that. Yeah.
Right. So we've been talking to we're going to be talking to a band later on this week who their venues have been shut down. Actually, an Irish punk band, and it being St. Patrick's Day today, that you would be out celebrating, but
Some people still are.
Yeah, some people still are.
Some people still are.
Yeah. But it's I think that a lot of people are being hit really hard in performance and art, that people aren't thinking about it. Of course, you have to shut things down to keep the spread of the virus from happening. But then, what happens to people who that is their livelihood, who are actors or artists who depend on galleries, or, what do you do?
Well, for me,
Mm-hmm.
and not a lot of people know this about me. I don't really. I mean, my friends in the industry know this,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really talk about it much elsewhere. My full-time job is a security guard.
Right.
Graveyard shift. That's what I do. I work that job at night.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, my regular job seems secure.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to that
Mm-hmm.
because I have to.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I saw the notice today that Gavin Newsom, he didn't exactly order the state you can't evict anybody,
Mm-hmm.
but he put out an order instructing cities, look, please don't evict anybody, especially if they can't get to their jobs because of this.
Yeah.
So once things really, if they get much worse, I don't think they will, but if they get much worse, then at least I have that to think about. I won't need to, if I start to really panic, you know. But as far as entertainment work, now that's all dried up. That's all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's and that's a shame. I think that it's one of the things that I don't think people think about. They just assume it's always going to be there. That oh, of course, like there's always going to be somebody willing to perform for you or willing to create art for you or that kind of thing. It's like, well, no, they depend on an income. So,
Well,
yeah,
in a matter of speaking, they're right though.
yeah,
Because what are people doing? They're tapping into the live cast, the streaming. They're streaming themselves on Instagram. They're putting themselves more on Facebook. They're putting themselves more on YouTube. You're going to see a lot more stuff online.
mm-hmm.
From people in the next several weeks or however long it takes, and I'm interested in that. I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to seeing what people come up with, given their limited resources.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of it, you're going to see people they're in their homes, and they don't have studios at their disposal. They don't have big sets behind them
Mm-hmm.
or extraordinary sound equipment. They've just got the things in their house. They've got the dishes and cups and eating utensils to work with, hangers, the clothes that they're hanging in their closet. So I'm actually very excited to look at what people come up with. I know I'm going to try to come up with some stuff. Hopefully it's good. It probably won't be.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Hopefully
I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
That we're trying to step it up on the UMind, where we're trying to interview more people, give them an outlet to express themselves and talk about what's going on. Also on the Creeping Wave, I have a whole bunch of scripts compiled that I'm probably going to be releasing early and just trying to get it out to the actors so we have something to do. We can always just Skype and hook up and read lines and that kind of thing.
I'm game.
Yeah. Yeah, of course you're in it. How many voices are you? You are the voice of the Monster Boys, Boris Karloff, Vincent Price, and Peter Lorre. Yeah.
Peter Lorre.
Yes, who's my favorite. And then
may I ask you something?
Yeah.
This is, I don't know if you'll be able to do this or not,
mm-hmm.
but it's my favorite voice to do. I don't know if you're going to be able to get away with it because this actor's still alive. Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, that'd be nice, actually. Yeah. Oh,
That's
man.
the voice. And the face as well.
Very nice. So are you thinking more of like a Clockwork Orange Malcolm McDowell, or like more of an older Malcolm McDowell, or any Malcolm McDowell within that range? So,
All of the above.
all of the Malcolm McDowells.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Primarily Clockwork.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a classic. So
Yeah, primarily Alex, and most people know that movie. So
yeah, is the movie
But-
that made Milk exciting. So
Yeah.
but
I mean it. I also dig him in like some of the underrated movies too, like Star Trek Generations.
yeah.
I actually dig him in that. Not that many people remember that role.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's another? Oh, Caligula, of course. But
Oh yeah.
that's we probably won't risk touching too much upon that film. That's different.
Gosh,
Yeah.
it was written by Gore Vidal, which I think is crazy. Yeah, and he's not super well. He's deceased, but he wasn't super proud of it at the time, I guess. So,
Jeez. It's funny because under pressure we come up with extraordinary ideas.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, like last week, like this random stuff pops into my head. I'm afraid to say it. I wonder if I should even say it on here. Somebody will steal my idea. I don't know. Who cares? Last Temptation of Christ, the musical. I
Very
mean,
nice.
for God's sake, somebody try it. Please try it at least once before we become extinct.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens.
Well, I mean, they
I
did.
think it could be good.
Yeah, you have Jesus Christ Superstar. You have Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Coat. Why not The Last Temptation of Christ?
Why not Last Temptation of Christ, the musical? If we live through this, I think we will realize that we are indestructible. We can start tackling things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll just be no holds barred.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Who would you cast as Christ, or are you looking to cast yourself in that role?
I can tell you who I'd cast as Judas.
Ah,
He's a friend of mine. His name's Aaron Pyle. He's extraordinary. I've seen him play Judas before in a
Very
show
nice.
called Last Days of Judas Iscariot.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably want to play Christ. I'll admit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't get it, though. They'd probably have to give it to somebody else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something to put out there. So, okay, well, the pitch is there. So now we have to get it into development. And yes, you have done musicals though before. You were Claude Frollo. And,
yes, I played Frollo in Hunchback of Notre Dame at the
Yes.
California Theater in 2016.
Very cool.
Yeah. John Jasper, Mystery of Edwin Drood. Of course, Sweeney Todd twice.
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite role.
This is an excellent role. Very cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really cool. But I am interested in what you're talking about people just kind of, I guess at everybody's core, when you take away like the office job and stuff like that, everybody's a storyteller and they just want to entertain.
They do.
Yeah. And,
People love to talk, and they love to have people listen to them talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody's going to come up with something.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
So, now, do you actually know anybody who has coronavirus? I haven't met anybody. The only people I've heard about have been celebrities. So,
Same.
Yeah.
It's not that close to me yet.
yeah.
I intend to keep it that way. I mean,
Yeah.
my dad's here with me, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make sure he doesn't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what have you been doing to entertain yourself during the shutdown? Are you writing plays, coming up with characters?
I'm writing a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm watching more Netflix,
Very nice.
or Amazon Prime. I'm going to be coming up with some things, and I'm going to do an Instagram live stream tomorrow night.
Oh, very cool. I'll have to check that out. Hopefully.
Yes, I'll make sure you get the invite.
Sure. What time? So.
I believe I'm starting at 9. I got to
Okay.
double check. I just
Okay.
made the appointment today.
Cool.
I'm pretty much deciding it on a whim.
All right. I'm interviewing a talking cat tomorrow, but I should be freed up by then. So.
Okay, I'll make sure I send you the invite.
All right. Very cool.
I sent a lot today, and then I was tired, and I need to pick up where I left off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, it really has opened up the pathway for people to just get out there and communicate. And I think with social distancing, people are starting to realize how much they took just the connection that they had with people for granted. And they're starting to say like,
Absolutely.
yeah, wait, I don't want you to just be a thing on Facebook. I want to actually be with you and talk to you and enjoy you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And it's going to become that much more haunting to us as the days progress, especially for those that still have to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
because my job is kind of important. I expect it'll be one of the last to get canceled.
Yeah.
So as we start to see less cars on the freeways,
Yeah.
even at rush hour, then I think it's really going to start to sink in and
Right. Yeah.
get really creepy. I mean, we know it's coming.
Yeah. But that's at the same time when you have that spark of creativity reawakening in people and you have that listlessness, then you're also going to see an uprise in just kind of wild, manic behaviors that break out on the
Absolutely.
street. Yeah.
Well, that's the name of going to be the name of my thing. I'm calling it The Apocalypse According to the Bipolar God of Science Fiction.
Very nice.
That's the name of it. And I don't know. We'll see. That's
Great.
kind of what I was thinking along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. So,
No,
yeah. The concept of God as a bipolar entity, it makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, even back to the Greco-Roman mythology, the gods are always just constantly vacillating in like what they're okay with, and
Yeah.
So, oh no, you told people you weave better than me, I'm gonna turn you into a spider, and that kind of thing. It's just like,
Gods are flawed.
mm-hmm.
There are flawed gods. Everyone thinks of just because you're a god, you must be perfect. They're flawed gods
Right, right.
if they're there.
Yeah. Well, it's all in your perspective. Who are you looking to as your god, and who are they looking to that's above them? So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a very interesting piece. I
Oh,
like
thank
it.
you.
So,
Yeah, it'll be some of it will be just me singing,
very
and then
cool.
I'll slip in and do some commentary from time to time. I'm thinking I might read passages from favorite books that I like, just random stuff.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe imitate some voices, do some facial expressions.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's funny because I know you do a lot of stuff in the Victorian era.
Mhm.
And so they talk about in the Victorian era, that is how people entertain themselves. They would just pick up a book and read it or things like, and they published poetry and short stories in the newspaper because they knew that that's what people did. They published songs, and not even
Yeah.
necessarily original ones. They'd be like, this is to the tune of this song, and these are the words to it. Gather around the piano and sing it with your family. And
Exactly.
it's kind of interesting to think about that. But I mean, that's,
Back to the basics.
yeah.
Back to the drawing board. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to just kind of enjoying imagination and being with people and yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so you haven't seen anything too crazy on your security watches, have you?
Right now, it's just, I mean, we're in a fairly secluded area
Okay.
already. And I don't want to reveal too much about what I do because
No, you can't. Yeah.
that could get me into some trouble. But I mean, it's not like high end stuff. But I mean, I haven't really seen anything drastic. I mean, you can sense people are concerned, people are worried about it. But that's about as bad as it's gotten thus far.
Yeah. I know when I used to work, it wasn't a technical security position. It was kind of security and maintenance, janitorial, sort of the whole shebang, called Second Watch at the Maritime Museum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and one day, and this actually started before my shift, but I came in and the police were there, and I was talking to the guys who were on first watch, which is the graveyard shift, like you're talking about. So
Yeah.
somebody had broken into the ship during the night. They had
Oh,
climbed down
scary.
into one of the ships, opened up a kind of this chest that had the costume that one of the actors that was going to be working on the ship the next day had for a British soldier, got dressed up, and then climbed up into the rigging, and they found him screaming, "I'm going to take this ship back to England where it belongs." And it's like, you got to respect that level of like enthusiasm though.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when the
Yeah.
actor came, he's just like, "Where's my costume?" And we're like, "Okay, sit down."
Yeah, you've been recast. We've recast you.
Yes.
We found a better actor.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. But whenever
Yeah.
I see kids like at museums like rolling their eyes or looking at their phone, I always think about like, you should be that level of excited to be here. All
Yeah.
right? You should be climbing into the rig. Well, don't, because it's my job to get them back out of it if they do. So,
Yeah, it's funny.
but yeah.
Well, I like to. It's like we went to. I mean, this is a similar story. I hope
Yeah.
I'm not taking too much time.
No, this is your hour or longer
Okay.
if you need. So,
Okay. So I went on the Queen Mary once years ago. With friends, we spent the night. We did that night thing where you could go on a tour. You could give
Oh,
yourself a tour of the
that's
lower
cool.
decks. And so we found this dark theater in the lower decks. And it was like 2 a.m. And so we're down there, and she's got her iPhone. She's snapping pictures. And so we were there with 2 or 3 other dudes. And so we're in this black theater, dark. There's like the only light that we're getting is like seeping around from a corner of a hallway that's way, way up. And so that's how we can see to get around. And that little bit of light is like causing a reflection off of like certain materials in the room and silver coverings here and there and so forth. So that's how we figured out it's a theater. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm an actor. I'm going to get on this stage. I'll climb up on this stage. What the hell? I'll be able to say
Yeah.
I. So I get up there, and my friends are still in the room, and I just start doing the tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And I start doing that speech, and I'm like, okay, well, that was fun. I jump off there. We go back to the room later, and they snap some photos of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was dark in that room. It was dark in there. We look at these photos. We plug it into her MacBook, and there's the picture, and there's a light hitting me. There's a light, like a spotlight.
Wow.
Hitting me. Like, okay, there's somebody up there saying, okay, he's acting, he's performing.
Yeah.
Light him.
Nice. They were happy to see you there. Happy for the stage to be back in action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to put that into play.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fantastic. Yeah, I always think like old theaters and stuff like that, they must miss having performers. They want to be active. They want to fulfill their role, you know?
I agree.
Yeah. So I know that Whaley House got shut down for the epidemic. But they had the Thomas Tanner Theater, and we were always thinking like, there's got to be some way we can utilize this. I know you've performed there doing your one-man show, the Edgar Allan Poe.
Thomas Tanner Theater?
Yeah, it's the Thomas Tanner Theater. Thomas Tanner was the leader of an acting troupe.
Yeah, you mean the in the Whaley House?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I performed it there.
You'd have.
But I also did it at the old Adobe Chapel.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's a cool place.
Years running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's all the old statues and stuff like that. It's a really pretty fascinating place.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people who work there always say it's a little eerie because people don't know yet that you can go into it and take tours. So they're always just kind of in this church alone with all these statues looking at them.
That kind of happened when I was there.
Yeah.
I went in and I'm like, wow, this is interesting, because what's most fascinating about this is you don't know whether or not this is open to the public. You kind of have to check and see for yourself. And it kind of gives some people, I think, that mischievous sense of, am I supposed to be in here?
Right.
You can tour in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
when it's open, you can, yeah.
Yeah, you can, but it's so secluded.
Mm-hmm.
It's so secluded. It's like, oh, let's check this out. You know, this hidden passage, so to speak. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's really fun. Yeah, I enjoy that place. So yeah, that's And do you have any one-man shows planned? If scheduling resumes and stuff like that.
I'm always looking to book my Edgar Allan Poe play anywhere in the States, anywhere in this state, anywhere in other states. If by some miracle another state, another continent contacts me, I'd be honored to travel across the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So guys, you should definitely look out for that. It's an amazing show. I actually did a video, if you go to my YouTube, and I'll have the link in the description box below, where you can see some snippets of his performance that I actually taped. So yeah, it's a very, very excellent show. And you do that, and you do another one-man show with the John Wilkes Booth, I think?
Not for a while.
Not for a while.
I used to do that one for a friend of mine. Yeah, it was called Damned, John Wilkes Booth, Bloody Patriot. It was a lot of fun. Totally, exposing. We weren't praising him. It wasn't a favorite portrayal at all. We just wanted to show, for historical purposes, see this crazy guy, see all the things he did, see how much of an asshole he was. It's important that you know that it wasn't just this.
Yeah.
He was with a huge crew of people, and they were all scumbags.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do that. That was a lot of fun, because he was an actor.
He was.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to do numerous different character voices in that show.
Very cool.
Because each time I got to a monologue where he's describing the night of the assassination as it's unfolding, I'm describing it but acting it out at the same time. So I'm playing Booth, and I'm playing these other characters that he interacts with.
Very cool.
Up to the assassination itself.
Yeah.
And then after the assassination, and that's actually a lot of fun. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Mm.
So I guess it's fortunate that you have sort of you have the look of somebody from that era, like somebody Edgar Allan Poe or John Wilkes Booth, or yeah.
Thank you for noticing.
So very cool. So yeah, I think that's what I like so much about voice acting is that you really can just assume whatever character you're able to embody, and that the thing I miss about it is that you don't use the motion and the movement, and you don't really like actually become that character physically, but you really get to embody with your voice. And then because I'm also doing the editing, building the sound design and the structure around it and things like that is a lot of fun as well. So if you guys haven't checked out Creeping Wave, Travis is one of our OGs, and you were really the first guest on the U Mind. So,
oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was just you and me. Really, in the beginning, my thing was just like we're just gonna do stupid voices. So, yeah,
we'll be doing more of those too.
Yes, we will be doing more of those.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's important. It just livens things up, and in this time we need stupid voices. So we need.
As a preparation for that,
I
must confess I'm rewatching Darkwing Duck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for a while I was getting on my elliptical, and when I get on there, early on I could only do like maybe 25 minutes at most. Now I can do an hour, but it's like I figured, okay, what can I do to keep me going? And I'd pull up Disney Plus on my TV, and I'd bring up Darkwing Duck, and I'd let a whole episode play through, and I'd be watching it while I'm on my elliptical.
That's nice.
And all these fond memories are flooding back to me now.
Oh yeah.
Of all the glorious and hilarious villains that were in that show. Yeah. All the bad guys, they were so funny.
They were great.
Yeah.
It was such an excellent show. Just all Disney Afternoon was just like something that you just look forward to when you get out of school, and you're just like, yes. So, but yeah, I'm a big Darkwing Duck fan. Who's your favorite villain?
My favorite villain, Quacker Jack.
Oh yeah,
Quacker Jack. Just those teeth. Like, Jesus. Seriously. I'm not going to be able to hold it together.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess she's not a villain, but Morgana started as a villain, and then she became Darkwing Duck's girlfriend. So I guess she would be my favorite. But yeah. And then oh gosh, what was the electric guy?
Megavolt?
Megavolt.
Megavolt, yeah.
Yeah. He was pretty great. So it's
Don't
a good show.
call me Sparky.
So, it's a good show. What now DuckTales had like a rebirth. Have you been following that at all with David Tennant and the crew?
No, I'm sad to say I've been busy with other stuff, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna binge watch it one day.
I'll be diving into that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
I'm only just now catching up on Better Call Saul, so I'm excited about that. I hope they get to finish it soon.
Yeah.
Because they're halting production on a lot of things.
They are. Yeah. I am just now watching Star Trek Enterprise, so I'm even farther behind you. It's a good show.
Okay, I gotta confess, I'm just now getting through DS9.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So yeah, I just finished season 1 of DS9. I've seen all the others.
Yeah.
I never got into DS9 enough. And my friend Paul is like, okay, you got to watch it because he's Charles Dickens, Paul Jacques, Riverside Dickens Festival. He's a big Trekkie. Yeah. Like, okay, I catch up with my friend Paul.
Yeah. No, I in Enterprise when it came out, I think I was like 21 or so, and I was hanging out with people who were just like, it's not real Star Trek, and so I felt like I wasn't allowed to watch it, so I'd secretly watch it every now and then, but I never got to really just sit down and like enjoy it. And so now it's like, I'm gonna watch Enterprise. I'm going to enjoy how cute Porthos is. He's cute. Yeah. He's a beagle in space.
Yeah.
So it's fun to kind of get to do those kind of things. So.
Yes.
So keeping myself entertained. I do have to tell you, have you seen the show Altered Carbon on Netflix?
You know, a friend of mine just suggested that.
I saw it, and you should have been cast in it.
Okay.
There's a
Damn.
character who's Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna watch that.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, they should have got Travis. Nothing against the actor who plays it, but like I know that that's like you. You are Edgar Allan Poe. That's when I met you. You were Edgar Allan Poe, and then like later when I interviewed you, you became Travis. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, one of the characters is an AI who assumes the role of Edgar Allan Poe, and he works at this hotel that's all AI. It's more or less a brothel, but the theme is the Raven, and he greets you like at the door as Edgar Allan Poe, and like a glass of sherry and that kind of thing, and it's very cool. So I was like, oh, this is very Travis.
I think I know what I'm going to be doing after we're done with this.
Yeah,
Watching.
I like it. A lot of people are kind of mocking it because it's definitely drew inspiration from Blade Runner.
Oh,
But
yeah. I love Blade Runner.
yeah, people our age in your 30s to 40s kind of range, well, that was like inescapable. We can't help but be inspired by that. That was one of the visions that, familiarized us with sci-fi and things like that. So
Yeah, we grew up with all the coolest stuff.
I know.
I mean, I was introduced to Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan when I was it'd been. I mean, I was born a couple of years after it had already been out. But,
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. This is what I'm talking about right here.
Mhm.
I just liked finding and celebrating sci-fi that had great acting in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really like just so amazing that we have like Netflix and all these kind of things like now, well, especially with coronavirus, but just when I was a kid, like the only way you discovered these kind of things was like maybe on Bravo or A&E or late at night. Yeah.
I remember Encore.
Oh yeah,
Encore?
yeah.
I never even
So-
heard of the movie Q&A
Mm-hmm.
till I got the Encore network, and we weren't even paying for it. It was like a month-long trial,
Yeah.
and so it's like Q&A. Oh, what's this? Nick Nolte?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's playing this sleazy scumbag that's hilarious. Okay, let's have a look at this. Oh, a scumbag cop, even better.
Yeah. Yes. I
Yeah.
love it. So that's great. I think like all those cop and action movies like are so ingrained in me at this point in my life that like I'll just be having conversations with people and be like, turn in your badge and your gun. And just be like, oh, internal affairs is breathing down my neck and that kind of thing. And just it's like a regular part of my conversation now just because like I grew up on that and that was part of the language that just like I adopted into my everyday life. So
The thing that constantly repeats through my brain is when it's Dirty Harry.
yeah.
So many of the arguments, like when Dirty Harry would lose his temper with the mayor of San Francisco, and he'd tell him off, and he'd say, "All right, well, guess you'll have to get yourself another delivery boy." And you know what he does after that?
Yes.
Yeah, runs after this guy and gets him. Yeah.
That was a cool piece. So, I guess while I have you here, I would have to ask, what is your dream role? I think I may have asked you this before in our video, but things may have changed.
It does change. Every
Yeah.
few years it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's come and gone every few years.
Mm-hmm.
First, my favorite contemporary musical, I think, is, Les Miserables,
Yeah, yeah.
as far as anything that came out within my lifetime, because I just barely missed Sweeney Todd. That was just before I was born,
Yeah.
like 2 years before I was born.
Yeah.
My favorite musical, the ones that actually were released in my lifetime, Les Mis. And everyone tells me I should play Javert.
That'd be cool.
Thing is, I don't want to play Javert. I want to play Thénardier.
Ah.
I want to
nice.
play Thénardier. Yeah.
Very
That's always
cool.
my dream role in that show. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So when the theaters open back up, hopefully there'll be somebody who hears that and says like, yeah.
Yeah. Give them a shot at it. They're not
Yes.
doing it on Broadway. They released the rights. Because
Yeah.
all the shows on Broadway are closed. I don't know that they did that. They probably didn't. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
A guy can dream, you know.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But very cool. So, okay. Well, is there any way that people should get a hold of you if they want to cast you or they just want to talk to you, want to check out what you're doing with yourself these days?
Well, I got a website, travisrhettwilson.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got my phone number on it, 951-707-9923. Got my email, travisrhettwilson@yahoo.com. And just find me on Facebook, you know. I got a YouTube channel, too.
Yes.
And an Instagram.
Very cool. And we will, if you send those links over to me, we'll put them in the description below when we release this. Yeah, so what we're just basically doing with this series is just talking to people who are performers who've been kind of shut down by this, finding out what they're doing and seeing how they're coping and how they're keeping their imagination and creative spark alive. So,
Yeah.
yes. And you're sharing your beautiful face with us. So, very nice.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay, thank you so much, Travis. And I will hopefully be getting those scripts out to you soon and talking to you in a bit.
Looking forward to it. Thank
All
you.
right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to Travis Rhett Wilson, who was our guest for the day. You can check out Travis on his website, www.travisrhettwilson.com. Of course, the link is going to be down below. And on YouTube at Mr. Dabblehand. Thanks as always to our legendary announcer, Savage C. Walnar, who we could not do it without. Our You Mind theme is Demilitarized Zone by Ethan Mexel, who truly is a master of the craft, don't you think? I mean, just listen, it's amazing. You can go to patreon.com/lucidnap if you want to help support the show, but only if you're taken care of first. And also, buymeacoffee.com/lucidnap for small one-time donations. And you can help support me and get yourself some reading material, which is much needed in these times, by going to lostbreadcomic.com. That is the comic that I write. I also take commissions for art and other crazy stuff, so hey, get on there, check it out. Make sure to follow all the social media links below and to check out Creeping Wave Radio. Travis is on it, and you're gonna love it. It is a scripted audio drama that takes place in the same universe as Lost Bread Comics and the U-Mind. So, yes, definitely worth a listen. But above all, thank you for watching, and a special super duper thanks to our Patreons who are amazing people, and their names are The Grimerica Show, Nikki Benfield, and Neil. And we couldn't ask for a nicer bunch of guys. They're guys. It's okay for me to say that. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, and see you next time. Bye. The U-Mind is brought to you by Lucid Nap Productions in cooperation with a hairy old man who's very grumpy now that we're in lockdown, just so you know.
You don't have to find an interdimensional saloon to have a pint of alien beer with me, Chrissy Garrison. Just tune into my Alien Beer podcast each Thursday, and I'll share my speculative fiction stories with you. And every other week, I'll be serving up a new installment in my science fiction serial, The Multiverse Blues. Meanwhile, catch up with me at sillyhatbooks.com/podcast. See you there.
This has been a presentation of the Project Entertainment Network.